Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am back with another simplicity video. Again, this is where we just use very basic supplies, pattern scissors, pencils, may pull in a few other tools. This is actually episode 9 in this series, and this series will continue in 2019. So in a previous video, I did use this pattern paper. You know, it's funny when it comes to all the paper, if you guys went through my craft room there, I've got a lot. This is the only 12 by 12 Valentine's paper pad I have, I think, which is funny. I think I have a couple 6 by 6, but I can't find them. That cracks me up. I'm just saying. All right. So we're going to dig into this one again, because again, it truly is my goal to stick with what I have, but yeah, it doesn't work. You know, A for effort, let's go with it. So these are the papers that I chose. So I wanted to choose from, I chose all of those roses. I chose the love being scripted across that page. And then I chose one of their sentiment blocks on one of their pages. Now we're going to make 2 cards. Now what I'm also going to pull in is this stamp set. I have the 2 beside it, but this one that I have is really great. It covers a lot. Yes, it's in one font, but you don't have to buy all the sentiment stamps and so forth. So we're going to get more back onto that. So what I'm going to do with this 12 by 12 as my phone goes off there, sorry about that, is you can actually use the 12 by 12 as long as it's cardstock 12 by as your card base. So I cut this piece 4 1/4 by 11, and now I'm going to score it at 5 1/2. Yes, I'm going to use my scoreboard because it's habit. So I'm trying to break some of these habits that I've built. Now, do you need a scoreboard? No. You can use the back of a butter knife to do this same thing and a roller. It's how I started. So next time we'll show that. So you can actually use that pattern paper as your card base. Okay, and again, 4 1/4 standard A2 size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 top folding. I'm still able to make that. So I've cut a panel out of the love script, and that is going to measure approximately 3 3/4 by 5. I took a 1/2 inch on each side. Yes, so it's 3 1/2 by 4 1/2 actually. So I'm going to pull one of my pieces of brown. Now this is the Recollections brown, the 65 pound. You can get one of those big packs of all the different colors. That's what this is coming from. I do keep those on stock. If I know that I'm going to be layering a lot of layers of paper, this is the paper that I want to use. I don't want to use 110 pound paper if I'm putting layer on top of layer. The card would be very odd to me. Let's just say it that way. So by using this, the Recollections paper, it's cost effective, and you can keep layering it without adding so much bulk and weight. Got to remember, we have to mail these things. So I framed that with a piece of brown, which also helped to give a little bit more stability to my card base. Now, my card base, it's a strong cardstock. It's not paper, it is cardstock. But just to give it that little bit in the front, I'm just going to take this sentiment that goes across, and I'm going to use my liquid glue to attach everything. I am a liquid glue person, and yes, for those of you that follow my channel, it is killing me to not pull in my vintage photo. I'm just saying. Just saying. So that's our first card. I think it looks great. I think it looks wonderful. So for the second one, I'm going to use one of my card bases that I have pre-made, white. Again, standard A2 size by 5 1/2 top folding. And then I took another piece of that paper that I used for my card base, and I cut a square, or excuse me, a rectangle, to be a scant, which is really 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I'm going to adhere that down onto the card base. So here I have another panel. Now this one was cut just a little bit less. This one I believe was cut 4 3/8 by almost 3 inches, I believe. I think 3 inches. So it's a little bit off. I didn't want to waste it. I didn't want to throw it away or anything. So I'm just going, I real quick measured that, and I just added 1/4 of an inch. So whatever your original panel is, and you want to have a backing like this, just add 1/4 of an inch to those measurements of that cardstock. Now, of course, I've got to go a little on an angle, because I'm really not a matchy-matchy person, meaning 90-degree angles. I like to angle just a little bit. So again, this stamp set's by Clearly Besotted. Now I know I like this one because of the size. I like the My Favorite Things when they're just the sentiments, and you can get them for each occasion. I do also like the Simon Says Tiny Words. Even though they're really tiny, I do like them as well. So if you want to get into this, but you don't want to get into all the tools, focus on your sentiment stamps and let your pattern paper do the work. It's very simple. So here, now that I stamped it, I did use my VersaFine ink. If you're looking to keep it simple, then you can get the black VersaFine, because you would use that just for your sentiments. You can use that to stamp your images. When I started out in this, and these were the only 2 colors that I used forever, were the Archival inks by Ranger in black and in sepia, or sepia, whatever you want to say. I had those 2 forever. A brown and a black are perfect when it comes to the simplicity. So these are the 2 cards. Now I'm going to be putting a video together just on the items to keep it simple. What you would need, maybe going one step further. So look for that soon. But this series is definitely going to continue in 2019. I think it grounds us very well. It keeps us in check. And I think it helps us to get ourselves out of the box a little bit. Right? Right. As always, these are the close-ups of the cards that we made today. I don't like to say using minimal supplies. I like to say using what we have and what we can afford. How about that? Work well? I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. Here are another couple videos dealing with my Simplicity series. If you have any questions, leave those down below. And all the products that I used, I'll try to find and list those down below as well. I hope everyone's having a great day, but always remember what's most important. Always be creative.